Galnet News Digest, 11th of September 3304. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, death or detention for Thargoid cult. Taking a flipping liberty. Coneless Canonn wages war in system of surprises. Hurd distraught as rival company goes up in smoke. Epic celebration for episode 200. Death or detention for Thargoid cult. Following the delivery of thousands of Thargoid body parts to the Thargoid worshipping Thargoid cult, there are rumours that the cult is actively engaged in vivisection on its own members. The cult apparently believes that by splicing Thargoid tissue onto human volunteers, it can attain a higher form of life. Just what the benefit might be remains unknown, but the rate at which Thargodians have been disappearing has been slowed only by the rate at which they've been arrested by the Federal Intelligence Agency, which is trying to find out where all the missing cult members are, and whether they could be spying for the Thargoid invaders. It seems highly probable that those Thargoid cult members not in detention face death as a result of botched operations to create human Thargoid hybrids. Chancellor Regan Tanner of the LHS 2541 Alliance Combine has denied that any such operations are taking place. The FIA has been accused of being heavy-handed in its operation, which has also closed down a number of other religious organisations and arrested many of the members, as well as arresting the families of the Thargoid adherents. Senior Agent Mika Whitefield insisted that the arrests are essential to solve the mystery of the missing cultists. Taking a flipping liberty. The Pilots Federation has announced plans to make extorting missions illegal. According to figures released this week, 3 in every 100 commanders use a technique called flipping, which comprises exerting moral pressure on organisations to make them unwillingly offer additional missions. The Pilots Federation has stated that it views this sort of begging behaviour as vagrancy and unbefitting of its members, and it's now seeking to ban it outright. Legislation has been drafted and is likely to pass into law in mid-November. Coneless Canonn wages war in system of surprises. Following its spectacular misjump last week, Canonn Interstellar's flagship remains stranded and under siege in the previously unregarded Autots STI D9-6 system. The initial onslaught of Hydra interceptors which trapped disappointed explorers on the fleet carrier seems to have died off, but a continuous barrage of fire from the smaller Thargoid scouts has continued around the clock. It seems that this system is of special significance to the Thargoids, with a surface structure and 2 large barnacle forests discovered on planet 2A. The large structure can be found at coordinates 54-126. With rumours that the Galnet newsfeed was advised of the misjump several hours before it actually happened, conspiracy theorists are out in force. The strongest amongst these rumours are that the Pilots Federation or some other influential organisation may have engineered the misjump to bring the Thargoid presence to the Canonn's attention, and that there's something so amazingly interesting hiding within the Cone Nebula that commanders who gaze upon it would instantly lose their minds. The official story is that the Thargoids pulled the Canonn ship out of hyperspace, and it's certainly true that the Eagle Eye network had detected Thargoid interest in the Gnosis in the week leading up to the misjump. The Gnosis is currently undergoing repairs. No date has yet been given for its next jump. Hurd distraught as rival company goes up in smoke. Maddox Hurd, the Chief Executive Officer of Herculean Machines, has expressed sadness at the news that the manufacturing complex of rival technology company Supratech has been completely destroyed by fire, along with most of the working prototypes of Supratech's new wearable Torque mobile user interface. Hurd commented that the fire was probably the result of the poor design of the manufacturing facility, which mirrored the poor design of the Torque. Hurd went on to say that he was sorry to learn that the fire suppression system in his rival's factory had completely failed to function, as had the site's security cameras and internal alarms. Hurd's own DuraDrive is set to be revealed at Rackham Ultratech on the 3rd of October. Following the fire, it seems unlikely that the Torque will be joining it. How sad. Epic celebration for episode 200. To celebrate the 200th edition of Galnet News Digest, episode 200 will be in 3 parts. Part 1 will be a retrospective covering the previous week's news. Part 2 will be live at next year's LaveCon. And Part 3 will be whenever we can persuade someone from Frontier Developments to be a guest presenter, or never, whichever is later. The actual 200th episode was broadcast last week. But who's counting? And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.